Hey guys, welcome to Travels and Whims, and today we're looking at 18 hidden costs of cruising that bumps up your budget. Stay tuned! Let's face it, money doesn't grow on trees, and cruising, however fun, can be a costly experience. You've finally saved up enough money to take your family on a 7-day Eastern Caribbean cruise. With your heart excitedly pounding in your chest, you went online, bought tickets, and pressed confirm. Cruising, here we go! And of course, on the next page, you'll be choosing which excursions you might want to book, or maybe get a dining package or a beverage package. These things do add up to a hefty sum. Unless you're budgeted for these things, then it might come up as a big bill on your next credit card statement. So to avoid surprises, here we have 18 hidden costs of cruising that bumps up your cruising budget. Number 1. Automatic gratuities. Most cruise lines automatically add a $14 to $18 gratuity charge to your account per person per day. In addition, an automatic 18% gratuity is added to all bar bills and spa services. Gratuities are then pooled together and divided among all crew members. Number 2. Port excursions. Excursions are fun, but they're not cheap. Depending on the type of excursion activities you're into, excursion fees can quickly add up, especially if you have a big group. And a few ways you can save is just simply shop around and just find the best deals. You don't have to book your excursions through the cruise line. Just be aware of your schedule and make sure you're back before the ship leaves. And secondly, you can also save on dining by eating your lunch on board a cruise ship. And of course, lastly, you can always skip them. There are always a lot of fun activities on board a cruise ship to keep you entertained. Number 3. Specialty dining. Some people like myself savor a little bit of culinary luxury on board a cruise ship. However, cruise ships' specialty dining options charge an extra $40 to $60 per person, and in some cases higher. And a couple of ways you can save is number 1 is to purchase a dining package. It's like prepaying for specialty dining offerings at a discounted price. It'll be roughly around $25 per person instead of paying for full price. And number 2 is you can always skip specialty dining options. There will always be an overabundance of complimentary dining options on board. Number 4 on our list are alcoholic drinks and beverages. Your throat will never run dry on a cruise ship. At meals, there will always be water, coffee, iced tea, juices, milk, and they're all complimentary to your cruise fare. However, alcoholic beverages, premium coffee and tea, soft drinks, beer and wine are not, and they can quickly add up, especially with an 18% gratuity added to bar drinks. And a few ways you can save is number 1, just like a dining package, there are beverage packages you can purchase on board. Number 2, you can purchase wine by the bottle instead of by the glass. You can always save it for your next meal. And of course, some cruise ships will actually allow you to bring a few bottles of wine on board depending on your cruise policy. And lastly, you can always check the daily cruise newsletter for drink specials, drinks of the day, and just take advantage of reduced prices on some drinks. Number 5, internet connectivity. If you would like to stay connected on social media or stream movies and videos at sea, you can always pay for your ship's Wi-Fi service. This would typically cost around $15 to $20 per day for unlimited access depending on the cruise line. Some lines charge based on the amount of data you use. Take the time to read about what is offered on your cruise. Number 6, airfare. For most of us, we don't really live in the vicinity of embarkation ports. That means we have to pay for that extra plane ticket to get to the airport closer to embarkation ports just so we can cruise. This can be a huge expense depending on where you're from. Number 7, ground transportation. Now that you've arrived at the airport, you still need to get to your port of embarkation via the ground transport. There are several options to choose from, but depending on how far the port is from the airport, it can cost over $100 per person back and forth. And a few ways you can save is number 1, you can always go for a third-party shuttle service around the area. This is generally a cost-effective option. And you can always pay for a taxi or Uber depending on the distance to your nearest airport or your cruise's embarkation port. Secondly, you can always ask a friend or family member who lives around the area to drive you to the embarkation port. And lastly, you can always take the bus. Number 8, spa and salon services. Getting a massage on your cruise can be quite a luxurious experience, but paying for it afterwards can quickly pile up on your final bill, especially with the automatic 18% gratuity added to the cost. And a couple ways you can save is number 1, to check your daily newsletter for special discounts on spa and salon services. Number 2, some cruise lines offer bundled services at a discounted price, so always watch for special discounts, especially on embarkation and port days. Number 9, onboard shopping and souvenirs. Cruise ships offer a lot of fun activities, including onboard shopping for your convenience. Remember that for the most part, cruise ships' prices are not exactly deals. From spending $10 on souvenir keychains to spending thousands of dollars on jewelry, there are enough things to buy on a cruise ship that can potentially burn a hole through your wallet. Number 10, souvenir photos. For immortalizing precious moments, souvenir photos are great and you might be tempted to buy a few prints to take home. However, an 8x10 photo can easily cost over $20 each. How to save? Number 1. Ask for deals and discounts. Some would even offer discounted prices if you buy a certain number of prints. Number 2. Learn to take better photos on a cruise ship. You can always take the photos yourself or ask a fellow cruiser to snap a photo for you. Number 11. Gambling. Gambling on a cruise ship can be costly. According to some, the odds of winning slots on a cruise ship are much lower than that of land because some gambling and gaming laws don't apply. I'm not a gambler myself, I have no way to prove the above statement, but if you rack up enough gambling losses, you've just made your cruise a whole lot more expensive than you budgeted for. Number 12. Travel insurance. Getting sick on a cruise ship can be very costly. This is completely optional, but purchasing a short-term travel insurance is one thing you can do to offset unforeseen healthcare charges on your trip. To save on travel insurance, you can always shop around and try to find the best deal for your state of health. And always read the fine print and read what's covered or not. Travel insurance can cost as low as $20 for your trip to as much as $400 depending on its terms and conditions. Number 13. Onboard activities. Part of the lure of cruising is the many activities on board a cruise ship. Although many of them are free of charge, some activities do incur additional charges. Some of these include fitness classes, cooking classes, wine tasting events, and other fun activities like laser tag, go-karts, IMAX movies, and even ice skating. To save, you can watch for deals in your daily cruise newsletter. Some cruise ships offer discounted rates if you bundle. And also, there are other things to do on a cruise ship that will not cost you extra. You can always watch game shows, comedy shows, trivia games, bingo, karaoke showdowns, and other fun-filled activities to keep you entertained. Number 14. Port fees and taxes. Tax and port charges are paid for by the cruise line on every port the ship docks. These charges usually translate into a 12 to 15% charge on top of your cruise fare depending on the cruise line. Number 15. Hotel accommodations. To avoid the possibility of airline delays and eventual outcome of missing your cruise, it is generally advisable for would-be cruisers to arrive a day ahead, especially if you're flying in. However, that also means you'll be staying overnight in the hotel. Number 16. Parking fees. Whether you fly or you drive to your port of embarkation, you will have to deal with long-term parking fees. This will usually run around $8 to $20 per day depending on the location and the level of security they provide. Number 17. Room service. Most major cruise lines will now be charging a small fee for room service to your stateroom account. For instance, Royal Caribbean charges around $7.50 per room service order. Carnival has recently announced that they are now charging a nominal room service fee per item effective mid-January 2019. To save, you can always enjoy the cruise's complimentary dining options, whether buffet style or at the main dining room. If you prefer, you can take some food items from the dining room to your stateroom as a snack for later with no extra charge. Number 18. Babysitting services. In-stateroom babysitting services are no longer available on some of the major cruise lines. However, late-night babysitting are still offered so parents can enjoy some late-night activities while someone looks after their little ones. Typical charge is around $8 hourly. Thanks for watching. This is our list of 18 hidden costs that can bump up your cruising budget. Be sure to check out our blog site at travelsandwhims.com for more exciting articles on travel tips and fashion trends. See you soon!